My mind knew this is how we operate. We're in Navy SEAL training. This is what we are. I became hell. And that became my new norm. I gave myself no way out. So my self-talk is like no one else's self-talk. So this is what I say to myself. It changes all the time. But let's say for shits and giggles, I'm training for a 100-mile race. So let's say I'm training for a 100-mile race and I get to mile 50 and I feel like shit. And like everybody else, my mind gets soft. Why? Because I'm human. I'm not some damn, hybrid creature that was formed from the heavens above. No, not human. I suffer, I don't like it, I'm uncomfortable, I don't like it. So my mind starts to get weak and we start to forget about how badass we are. I call that the cookie jar, but it's not about the cookie jar right now. This is about self-talk. But the cookie jar kind of goes to self-talk too. It's a piece of it. So basically what I do here is you have to make sure that your mind doesn't become spastic. When it's suffering, when it's in pain, all it wants to do is find the easy way out, which is usually quit. If you quit, the pain goes away immediately. You gotta give yourself enough energy and fuel in your mind to stay just a little bit longer so you can talk yourself into staying for the whole thing. And this is how it works.
The best way to achieve your dreams and get to the goals that you've set out for yourself is to start immediately. You need to go ahead and stop making excuses and say I'll start tomorrow or when I'm more comfortable or when I have more money. Whatever the case may be, you need to stop making excuses and go ahead and put your foot down and start your goal. Start achieving the success that you want to achieve. It doesn't have to be a huge jump, just go ahead and begin the process. That can be as simple as waking up in the morning and writing down what it is you want to achieve. Because once you do that, you make that dream a reality by writing it down. You turn that dream into a pathway of life. You make it a plan for your future. All that by just simply writing it down makes your mind know that is what you want to do. You can think it and say it all you want, but once you put it on a piece of paper, it is now in the world. And so then you just have to figure out ways to start doing it. It doesn't have to be big. It can be by talking to somebody who knows whatever it is, or reading books about whatever you are passionate about, or figuring out ways to get involved in that community of people that know how to operate whatever it is you want to do. It's not complicated to get started, but you need to do it immediately, because the longer you put it off, the smaller chance of success you have. And if you want the greatest chance of success, you're going to start as soon as you possibly can and work on it as many days in a row as you can. Try to do it every day if possible.
And your brain is the most powerful weapon. I talk about that in one of these chapters. Your brain is the most powerful weapon in the world. Once you put away your phones and your computers and all that shit we have nowadays, yeah, that's great. We're up to date. Your brain is the only thing you have when you're going through depression, when you're going through hard times, when you're going through death, real life shit. You can't Google that shit, man. You're alone. You're alone. You may have a shrink you're going to, you may have a best friend you're going to, but there's 24 hours in the day where you're alone in this brain. And your brain is talking to you in all kind of ways. And it wants to control you and pull you in these different pockets. If you can't control your own brain and your brain controls you, you got to tell your brain where you want to go and how you want to go and how you want to get there. You got to control it. If not, it's over. It was my internal voice. Every second of my life for so long, I felt so horrible about who I was that I had to motivate myself every second, not every hour, every second. And I started having a cookie jar of stuff that I could kind of go in and say, okay, today, this is what's gonna get me through this second. This is gonna get me through this hour, this moment of feeling bad. So I had to develop a self-talk. Well, my father was the kind of guy that had a big hole right in the middle of him, and not enough hate and anger could fill it. And so you come up with very low self-esteem. That was a big issue for me also. We lived about 20 minutes from the headquarters of where the KKK was originated. So basically, my name was never David. They always called me the N-word. And we had 3 blacks amongst 2,500 people. And it was just a really to go through. I kept blaming my father for what he did. I blamed my mother for working 3 jobs, never being at home. I blamed the school system. I blamed the white kids for calling me, the N-word. I blamed everybody. And in that pattern of blaming everybody, I was going nowhere. And then you had that eureka moment where the only person that's to get me out of here is having some belief system. But most getting up and looking yourself in the accountability mirror and holding yourself accountable. I'm gonna make this change. I gotta do this on my own. My God, man. And then you put a goal in your mind. How are you gonna feel, man, when you accomplish this goal coming from that shit? Coming from the hell you came from. A lot of people start from a good starting point. They have a good foundation. What if you can surpass all of these? What if everybody who was way up here started up here and you started with no legs. You had to grow legs. to even start walking and then crawling and then running. And then you start passing people and all this given to them. I had to use all this negative shit that was making me weak and horrible as a person. I had to use this as power that now fueled me. I had to flip it on its head and say, hold up, this might be exactly what I need. The darkness is exactly what I need. It's how you look at your situation. And I was looking at it all up.
Thank you all so much for watching. Please go ahead and like and subscribe, and let us know what you thought down in the comment section below.